And welcome once again to the Thrifty Collector. Today, going to go over a recent return, one of my favorites, somebody that I've sent to quite a few times, College Football Hall of Famer Jake Gibbs. I've talked about him in the past. He was placed third in the Heisman back in 1960, was drafted by the Yankees. They actually gave him a $100,000 bonus in 1960. So you can imagine what kind of money that is, maybe $1 million, give or take. But so he also got drafted by the Oilers and the Browns in the NFL and AFL, but decided to go with baseball. And unfortunately, most of his baseball career was just sitting on the bench. He was a backup to Elston Howard in the early 60s. Well, in the early 60s, mid 60s, and late 60s. And then Thurman Munson came around in 1970, and he backed up Munson in the last year or so of his career. He is a College Football Hall of Famer, so he does have that to his credit, and actually went back to Ole Miss as a baseball coach. So this is his 1962 card. What's kind of interesting about this is he was so hyped, he got his own card. In 1963, he did not have a card. And then in 64 and 65, he was actually on a dual Yankees prospect card. So it took him a couple years, a little bit longer than they probably thought, especially with that $100,000 bonus that they paid him. But this is his 62, his rookie year. It's not that I'm a big Ole Miss fan. I just love the fact when some guys kind of go, they see a fork in the road, baseball, football. Sometimes it goes good for them, sometimes it doesn't. And even though Jake did have about 10, 11 years in the major leagues, he never really broke out, never was really much of a starter unless somebody got hurt. So this is his 62. And then I also have his, I got back his 1967 card. What's kind of cool about a lot of his cards there, that 60, 66, 67, and I even think 68 and 69, he was actually in a catching position. So that's kind of an interesting thing on that. Now, the last one is his 1971 card. This is his last card that he had. And by then, Thurman Munson, they knew was going to be the future. So Jake was probably around, 33 at the time, and probably decided to just hang it up and call it a day. So I don't believe he even played on any World Series for the Yankees, because the Yankees had kind of that mid-late 60s, early 70s dry spell. So he didn't actually get into the playoffs. But real easy cards to get back from Jake. He's a quick signer. Check him out. Like I said, he's got cards from 62 to 71, except for 1963. And I thought I'd do a little bit something different, too. I'm also here at work. I'm typing up a letter. I'm going to be sending out to Jack Brohammer. So Jack Brohammer, and that's his 78 card. Of course, being a Red Sox fan, I'll look forward to getting back the 78 card. But this is a real interesting one. I've talked about how much I love these Topps Trophy cards. And if you look real closely on the right part of the card, or maybe it would be the left part of the card, depending on which way you're looking, it does have a rediscover Topps. So this was actually a card that Topps bought back, and then they put that stamp on it. I do need to do some research one day and find out how many of these cards that they did, or if Topps just kind of flooded the market with commons. Who knows? Did they put in any Mickey Mantles? That'd be interesting to kind of look up, and maybe they'll actually give me something to do today or tomorrow at work. So I hope you enjoyed it. Got Jake Gibbs back, College Football Hall of Famer. If you're looking for some good old vintage cards to get signed, Jake is about in his 80s now, so you might want to start getting them out while the signature's still nice and crisp. And I'll let everybody know how the Jack Brohammer goes. Have a great one. If you ever have any questions, just send me a message. Been doing through the mail, and I don't talk about it much. Actually started in the 80s when I was in high school. You could go into an almanac, and it would actually have the addresses to the teams. And I would actually send cards to the teams. Unfortunately, I sent it to all the superstars and never got any of my cards back. Very, very rarely. I do remember back in probably the late 80s, I did buy like this little book that had addresses. Didn't get a lot of success with that either. Probably didn't know what I was doing, but I did know at least to put a self-addressed stamped envelope in it. So everybody have a great day. Thank you once again for checking out The Thrifty Collector, and always stay thrifty.